Hello, everybody. Aaron Dobbs, British Rogue. Can't stay long, but a very good evening from Britannia, Dareloth. A good evening to you as well, British Rogue. So, we're going to be starting up Pillars of Eternity 2 today, and hopefully getting pretty far. We're going to be playing this on the easiest difficulty because I'm just trying to speed through the game. And I'm pretty certain that Pillars 2 can actually be beaten much quicker than Pillars 1. Not 100% on that, but I think the main story is significantly shorter. So that should be good for us. Main story is very short. Yeah. How's it going, Ilya, by the way? So yeah, we'll try to get through the main story. I'm thinking about what we're going to do for DLCs. Not sure yet. I guess it'll depend on how easy we can get through. Faction storyline, which shouldn't be too long either. Yeah, I remember this game being... I mean, the map is way bigger, but the actual main story is pretty short. So... we'll swap over to Pillars 2. And you guys should be able to hear the game audio. Or maybe not. 1 second. Oh, I didn't mean to click continue. Oops. We'll hide the game. Last time I had this open, I was testing stuff with the character, so I don't want any spoilers anywhere. Okay, well, it's telling me that the audio should be coming through. I might have messed with it, though. Oh, I definitely messed with it. Okay, because this game was super loud. Let's put it all at 100. Yeah, that's... okay. 70. Go with that. And then I should be able to talk, and you should be able to hear me, and then we'll still hear the game, and everybody's happy. Alright, we'll click new game here. And I've decided we are going to do real-time with pause still. I tried the turn-based mode, and my god, this was slow. This was extraordinarily slow. So we're going to do real-time with pause. Plus, I just think it fits Pillars better, so we're going to do that. There are things called Bareth's Blessings, which I do want to use. So we'll continue on through here. We're going to do story mode. Do your efforts, rank/skills, carry over, or is it a brand new everything? It is a brand new everything, but your story choices do carry over into the second game. So we're going to be playing on story mode. Story difficulty is for players who are more interested in exploration and story development than the challenges of combat. That's me, baby. So I have beaten this game on Classic like once or twice. So I've earned my rite of passage. Basically, Bareth's Blessings, though, they are things that you're able to pick up after you've gotten certain in-game achievements or milestones, and they allow access to all of these buffs when you go into a second playthrough, which is pretty fun. So we're going to start the game with 50,000 extra gold. We're going to start the game at level 4 as well, because I want to get the character build rolling and just going faster. I think this one's pretty good too. You begin the game with inherent bonuses to Might, Con, Dex, Int, Perception, and Resolve. Begin the game with the world map explored. It's not necessary, but I like it. Adair unlocks the pet slot. That's just a classic, so we gotta take that one. Let's see. Your class grants double their normal skill bonuses. I don't know if that's necessary. Let's see. What can we do with 20 extra Bareth's Blessings? Oh, we could begin the game with the Stormwind Sails ship upgrade. That would actually get our ship faster, I think. And then we'll just use the remaining 12 there. So that is fine with me. And we are going to get into the game. I'm going to mute my mic so you guys can hear the intro. It's a pretty cool intro.
Aora, a world where mortals live, die, and are reborn through the turning of the wheel. The cycle of reincarnation watched over by the gods, and made possible through pillars of a mystical substance known as Audra. 5 years ago, you traveled from your home to the Deerwood, a nation that had waged war against the incarnated god of light, Aethys, resulting in his destruction. The country suffered from a plague of hollowborn, infants born without souls, that many believed was punishment for killing a god. In an ancient, secluded ruin, you witnessed a secret ritual that inadvertently transformed you into a watcher. One who can see and speak with souls. The ritual also gave you horrible visions, waking nightmares of a past life that threatened your sanity. To put them to rest, you pursued the man who had led the ritual, a seemingly immortal agent of the gods, known as Theos Ix Arcanon. With divine assistance, you confronted and defeated Theos, ending your visions and resolving the Hollowborn crisis. In so doing, you also learned the great secret that Theos had protected. That the ancient empire of Anguith had transformed themselves into gods. Your visions finally put to rest, you retired to the castle of Cadnua, built atop a massive statue of pure Audra, where you ruled in relative peace and prosperity.
Made a nice story. You fixing up that old keep? Lifting the curse? Must have told it 100 times. But something got to gnawing at me. Thinking the spirits there weren't really at rest. That maybe the gods weren't finished with us. I used to dream that when my God came back, he would forgive us. That's the trouble with dreams. Sooner or later, we all have to wake up.
So you wake to a sleepless world, the in-between of life and death. Follow your memories. You have been here before.
So a much stronger intro than the Pillars 1 intro for sure.
You have seen past the shroud. You are a watcher now, and a watcher you will stay.
A watcher sees souls, knows their pasts, and the souls see them back.
A dubious honor, inheriting a fortress both broken and cursed.
What is a god? Hmm? A higher power? A rewarder of good deeds and punisher of the wicked?
The gods aren't real, but something else entirely. Something created by people.
And did you ever consider that these were things you were never meant to understand? That their comprehension is beyond you?
Let the world see. Let them decide what to do.
The wheel has turned again, Watcher. Come.
Okay, I've been trying not to talk because I don't want to break the ambiance, but I'll catch up on chat in a second here.
An aged dwarf shares this strange floating platform with you. His face is creased by so many wrinkles that his features lie buried amid shadowy pockets of skin. Still, the dwarf's well-practiced habits have left telltale tracks of a welcoming rictus across his visage. You can see his smile coming before it blooms, reshaping the dwarf's face from a hanging sack of flesh into something resembling an oddly carved, merry gourd, replete with unhealthy bumps and discolored splotches.
Yeah, we are not the first Watcher to live in that keep, correct? Love this game. Glad to see people are still interested in it. Yeah, I think that, especially with Avowed coming out, I hope the Pillars games get
Sit. Please.
a little bit more recognition.
Thank you for joining us, Watcher of Cadnua.
The gaunt woman seated at the table is clad in time-worn black armor that seems too massive for her to move in. A pale, slender neck rises from the gorget, topped by a hollow face. The milky skin stretched across it is delicate and translucent, like parchment that has been scraped clean too many times. She's preoccupied with the arrangement of cards on the table between you. With each movement, her armor squeaks and groans as though bearing an incredible weight. She places a final card, gives a nod of satisfaction, and raises her eyes to meet yours.
Your brush with the divine has drained you of your powers, fractured your memories. Look upon these cards. They represent the courses of your life. You alone know best how they flowed. Arrange them to fit what you remember.
So, we can either import a Pillars of Eternity 1 save, or we can do, everything bad, Keeper of Secrets, Dark Time, Survival of the Fittest, Fair and Balanced, or Benevolent Soul. So these are all things that the Obsidian staff created as backgrounds that you could make. I have a few saved backgrounds that I made for this game, so we're not going to do those. We are going to click Import PoE 1 Save, and this is my original character that I beat the game on a while back. This is Lauren, and here is Hadoro. This is our boy.
Does everything appear to be in order?
Wonder if your character goes crazy eventually? I don't think so, because we cure ourselves at the end of Pillars 1 of our madness, basically.
Good. Welcome to the Beyond. I am Bareth. One half, anyway.
She points a finger in the direction of the dwarf who led you here. Though the movement is slight, her gauntlet squeaks like a rusty hinge.
Voice acting in this game means your vocal cords finally get a break. Yeah, I've been excited about that.
The dwarf's rictus returns as he nods in the woman's direction. The gods offered you boons in exchange for resolving the Hollowborn crisis. What did you do with the souls?
Well, we restored the souls to the Hollowborn, of course.
Tell me, do you remember when we last met?
Yes, so last time that we met the Pallid Knight, just so everyone remembers, we met the Pallid Knight in the vision of Bareth that we had back in Twin Elms. So, yes, in the Hall of Stars in Twin Elms.
You came to that tower seeking our aid. You prayed for help in reaching Theos, beyond the Court of Penitence, but would not pledge yourself to me.
Again, we pledged ourselves to Helia, not to Bareth.
Still, A pledge unmade stands fairer in this court than a pledge broken.
She places a card in the middle of the arrangement. A bell tower with no bell. Her fingertips slowly drag away from the card, faintly creaking as they retreat across the table.
You had need of the gods once before. Now it seems we have need of you. The being that occupied Odnua's statue beneath your castle was the dead god, Aothus. Of this we are certain. What we do not know is what his intentions are.
Also, this game is really nice because it has like tooltips that you can read about characters. So, Aothus, god of rebirth, redemption, dawn, spring, and light, traditionally shown as a man bearing a candle and wearing a silver crown, believed to have possessed the body of the Raedcern farmer Widewind during the Saints' War and been destroyed along with Widewind at the end of the war. He recently reformed his essence in the statue of Maros Nua beneath Cad Nua. In the process of pulling himself from the endless paths, he destroyed the castle and left the Watcher of Cad Nua at the brink of death.
Though Aothus stole a large fragment of your soul, you were strong enough to survive the onslaught and enter the in-between. You and he are still connected. He has chosen a body made of living Audra, perfused with the power of thousands of souls, including yours. It should be little difficulty for an experienced Watcher to find him.
Am I dead?
No, but neither is your body truly alive. Your lungs draw breath, your heart pumps blood, but your flesh is as soulless as a Hollowborn. That is, until I return you.
She delicately places a card upright on the table. The art depicts souls flowing out of a pillar of Audra.
Well, I'd like to find him as much as you would. He destroyed my castle and killed who knows how many people around it.
I know. It is my business to know. 322 in Cad Nua and your surrounding lands.
For anyone who might just be dropping in, Bareth is the god of death, split into two parts, the Pallid Knight and the Usher. So we're talking to the god of death right now.
Their souls remain in Aothus still. You have the power to save them. Serve me and I will return you to your body. Or don't, and return to the wheel.
Also, funny thing you can do in this game is if you say "I'll take the wheel," the game just ends right here. So it's if you're doing an any percent speed run, you technically can end the game right here at "I'll take the wheel." I think the world record for beating this game is like 1 minute, technically, because you can just speed through everything. So let's get on with it.
Good. Before you return to Aora as my herald, you must remember who you were. The last whisper of life and death.
For a moment, the sockets of her eyes darken, leaving the pits of a death's head gazing out at you.
When you can picture your own face, the Beyond will lead you back to your own kind, to the world of mortals.
Okay. So we'll recreate our boy here. We were a godlike. Moon godlike specifically, and we had the Almawa body type. We want to multi-class in this game. I think that it would be fun for us to do. So we're going to actually go into... I was playing around with some of these multi-classes. I think Paladin Priest would be fun. We were a priest in the first game, so I'd like to keep that that aspect of our character alive still. But maybe we're more of a fighter in this game specifically. But we'll start off with a priest. We will be an Aethasian priest, which is again what we were in the first game. The reason that we chose Aethys is because I thought that it would be really interesting in this game, since Aethys, comes back and destroys your keep. So Aethys is the god of light, redemption, hope, and rebirth. The god was believed to have been destroyed at the end of the Saints' War, but many of his priests and followers continued to worship him. His return to Aora at Cad Nua is not yet known to most mortals. Priests of Aethys are honest and kind in their dealings, condemning all expressions of cruelty and falsehood. And if you're a priest of a certain god, then you get certain spells per level. I think we're going to want Blessing, because it's just a good spell. And yeah, we could either become a fighter or a paladin. I think paladin's going to be more fun. So you can multi-class like any two classes together in this game. A paladin priest is called a Templar, so that's what we are going to be. And I believe we're going to be one of the shield bearers of Saint Elka, a paladin order of Adiran warriors who emphasize honesty and diplomacy over cruelty and aggression. These shield bearers were founded in honor of an elven noble who helped unite the Adir and Kulkan kingdoms after a long war. So we'll gain lay on hands, we'll be allowed to engage more enemies, and our lay on hands will prevent death. So we're going to be kind of like a supportive type character, I think, but maybe we can do some damage too. I want to keep the stats relatively similar to what we had in Pillars 1. We had high might, we had decent con, I think our perception was pretty low, and we had pretty good int. I want to say our int was like 17. So let me choose our background. We were from Rawatai, which gives us 1 extra point in con that we can shift over to int. And this stat spread is okay for me. I don't see any big problems with these. Yeah, maybe we bump that point over into resolve, but we should be good. The powerful naval kingdom of Rawatai is dominated by coastal Almawa and ruled by a Ranganui. Currently the most prosperous of the old empires, Rawatai has expanded aggressively into the Deadfire archipelago to secure natural resources that are scarce in their native storm-torn land. Though folk, dwarves, and orlans can be found in Rawatai, most are merchants or remnants of the old kingdoms Rawatai conquered when they seized power long ago. Legends say that the Rawataians came to their lands from the Deadfire archipelago in the wake of a terrible cataclysm, but the details of that event have been lost to time and the imagination of storytellers. And we were a mercenary previously. I think we're going to want maybe maces, I don't know. And shields as our proficiencies for weapons. This game does weapons a little bit differently. And this was our portrait in Pillars 1, but we actually don't have the option to make our face really look like that guy in this game. So I think I like the horn structure here. And I feel like Hidoro, we couldn't customize his hair before, but I think he'd probably have a haircut kind of like this. And as a priest of Aethys, I think I made his colors yellow in the last game. I don't know, that looks good enough to me. We can always change those later. Obviously this part of the game doesn't really matter that much, but it's fun. Okay, so that. I think we did the...
I'll teach you!
They'll never know I'm here.
Let's go!
Keeping quiet.
Onward!
Easy now.
Yes? Leading the way.
I like that one. And we'll do the heroic pose. We are Adoro. Alrighty.
Go forth now, Watcher, as my herald. Know that I do not give you this title lightly. When the time comes, you will have the power to reveal the souls that cling to you. To open the gateway from the in-between to the waking world.
The in-between refers to the shadow world that souls briefly wander after death on their way to the beyond. It has been described as a hazy landscape, empty but for the glow of other souls, Adra, and Watchers. This is the space that Watchers peer into when they observe and speak to lost souls and soul fragments. Even the gods cannot reach it. I was thinking about installing the game, never played any game like it except Fallout 2 and a older Baldur's Gate. Is it easy to get into? I think if you've played the older Baldur's Gate games, you would have a decent time with this, because these games are based off of Baldur's Gate. So they're like inspired by the old Baldur's Gate games. I think the Pillars universe is worth checking out.
Find Aethys. Learn his plans. When I have cause to talk to you, I will summon you.
With a quick gesture of her hand, you feel a sharp pain in what would be your chest. The pain continues, intruding deeper into your soul. Looking down, you see a small lump of darkness roiling within you. The darkness lingers there, but the pain abates and fades entirely within the span of a few seconds.
Oh, British Rogue, thank you for coming. Thank you for becoming a channel member. Much appreciated.
A chime. Do not fear, Herald. It will not harm you unless you choose to cross me. I trust it will not come to that.
Her gauntleted hand gestures to the dwarf, hovering nearby. The dwarf nods, contorts his face with his odd smile, and gestures to a new door.
Okay, I do need to fix the audio mixing because, you know, it's one of my streams and it just wouldn't be right if we weren't having audio problems. Okay. I feel like I want the music down, the voice high, because we're in it for the story. I couldn't change that until we got out of there. Yeah, you can see how well the worlds have been adapted. Like the maps in this game just look a lot better than they did in Pillars. Whatever this structure is with the giant hand is pretty cool. And all the Adra out in the background. Just really neat stuff. Very well done. So there was one major thing that we missed in Pillars 1 that I totally just forgot about, and that was doing Console Hot's quest, but just about everything else I think we did. Goosebumps rise on Adair's arms at your approach, but he seems unaware of your presence. You sense the steward's spirit in the bust, but she is unaware of you.
The return to your body feels like waking after a fitful drunken sleep. The rocking of the ship sends pain jolting through your limbs. Crashing waves hammer inside your skull. Adair watches over your body with a glazed look, taking long, even tokes from his pipe. At the first movement of your chest, he starts. His gasp, mid-puff, sends him coughing and straining for breath.
No, there's no way. You're awake. What are you doing awake? How are you feeling?
Alive.
Alive's a big improvement.
I hate to cast a pall over your recovery, but I'm afraid I have some bad news for you.
OMG, Morrowind start, yeah.
The voice echoes from inside the bust. The remains of the steward of Cad Nua.
Cad Nua has been destroyed. Aethys possessed the statue of Maros Nua and rose from the ground, consuming the souls of all nearby. It is only by the exceptional strength of your soul that you survived. And even then, just barely. The further Aethys withdrew, the weaker you became. We chartered this ship and followed him to the Deadfire archipelago. I know not how, but it seems he has retained a piece of your soul. And proximity to it has brought you back.
Yeah, I know.
How could you know all that? You've been faking on us.
He pokes at your shoulder.
With one finger.
I forgot I don't have to read.
Misfortunes brewing topside. We... Magrans fires the captain stirs.
An older man with ale-sour breath rubs his bloodshot eyes and stares at you.
Engrim, the smell of drink on your breath could wake the very dead. Now what's this about?
Pirates. They're demanding parley with you, Captain.
I know this is asking a lot, but you better arm yourself and get on deck. Should be some gear in there.
He indicates a nearby wardrobe.
Yeah, only in the prologue. Yeah, there's...
All right. Now make some use of it.
There's specific parts of the game. I think it's like story stuff where the narrator comes in. Glad I could join and support Sir Dareloth. Well, thank you very much. I genuinely do appreciate every single person that decides to become a channel member. It really helps me out. Even if it is just like $1.
The pirates of Deadfire are notorious. I suggest you deal with them quickly.
Cool. Let's turn those off, actually. Some modals.
Well, what have we here? A little sloop? Lost and alone in the storm?
A surly, brutish-looking captain stands stiff-backed before his crew. He scowls as he assesses you, his hair whipping about his ears in the wind.
I'll be taking your ship now, if you don't mind. And especially if you do.
Well, at least he asked.
I am a gentleman of fortune.
The captain shrugs in the sheeting rain before pinning you with a slow, murderous grin.
Give her up easy, and I'll see you get a swift death. It'll be bloody and agonizing, sure. But at least it'll be quick.
I don't have any quarrel with you. Why do you want my ship?
Why complicate this with a quarrel? I see, I want, I take. It's as simple as that. Now then, me and my mates will be helping ourselves to your ship. There's no need to see her sunk by the storms. Or my culverins.
With a grunt, he nods toward the port cannons.
Listen up, mates.
He cracks his neck as he addresses his crew.
I'm off to spear me a bigger fish. One with sharper teeth like. I'm trusting you lot not to cock this up. Don't damage the sloop when you take it. Play with the crew if you'd like, but don't bring me any prisoners. None that are alive.
You heard, Benwick!
Okay, as this starts, I do also need to go into the game settings and show PoE 1 reactivity. So displays when a response relates to a decision made in PoE 1. And I forget where we go. Show personality / relation or reputation. So display the effects of choosing each conversation option on the player's reputation and personality. That's really important because as a priest and as a paladin, our dispositions are extraordinarily important to our actual abilities. Okay.
Defend the ship!
And I mean, this is kind of just like GG too easy. There we go.
Storm's picking up! Take cover!
The game narrating the situation makes playing the game sound like reading a book. Yeah, Pillars is very book-like, to be honest. You've defeated the pirates, but you're not out of trouble yet. The storm picks up, lashing your ship and driving you dangerously close to a rocky shore. The Defiant's crew hurries to reduce sail and batten down the hatches. They work quickly, but the ship is still listing heavily. Just then, a loose crate tumbles toward you, gathering speed on the rain-slick deck. It misses you, but knocks Chitupek, one of your deckhands, off his feet. The Defiant heaves. Chitupek pitches over the side. He grabs onto the rail, but his fingers are slipping. He cries out for help. Meanwhile, the runaway crate totters on the edge of the deck, ready to plunge overboard. You recognize the symbol on the front and realize it likely contains the salvage from Cadnua, your keep. Well, we're going to rescue Chitupek, because we're not going to be a dick and prioritize salvage over a person's life. You grab Chitupek's arm just as his grip fails. For a tense moment, he hangs suspended over the rolling sea. Then, with a mighty tug, you pull him back onto the deck. You hear a heavy splash. The crate from Cadnua is gone. Chitupek, meanwhile, nods in gratitude and hurries to his station. Meanwhile, the storm has nearly driven you ashore. A flash of lightning reveals a treacherous coastline and Aethys striding into the distance. The lookout barely has time to shout a warning before the Defiant runs aground. Aethys just cheeked up back there, giving us the full view. How's it going, Thin By Duke? The impact hurls you from the deck and into a froth of waves, bodies, and splintering debris. You struggle toward the beach just ahead, even as the surf tugs you toward the open sea. You kick and paddle with all your might until at last you feel sand between your fingers. Pulling yourself ashore, you collapse. Yeah, more like Aoth ass. He's cheeked up.
You've been getting a lot of sleep so far on this trip. I'd awoke you, but you look so peaceful with your face in the sand.
Adair runs his fingers through his hair and removes a strand of seaweed he finds lodged there. He examines it closely and then tosses it onto the sand.
If you're worried about the ship, you can stop worrying. It's wrecked right over there.
He points out the Defiant, despite it being difficult to miss from your vantage point.
So far, it's just you and me and the chair lady over there.
Adair nods towards something further up the beach.
It's a relief to see you awake, my lord. I worried you were in for another long sleep.
Your steward appears to be lodged between some rocks. Despite this, her tone is warmly cheerful. Yeah, I hate boats.
Shh, it's right behind you.
Unfortunately, I believe we'll be needing the Defiant yet. Unless you mean to settle down on the island for good.
Oh, there's a thought.
Let's see. Can we patch up the ship?
I'm afraid I won't be much assistance in that regard. And not to doubt Master Adair's capacity, but even he would need supplies.
Oh, thanks for renewing your subscription, Duke.
That's true. Steak, especially.
Patching the hull is only the start. You're going to need help getting the Defiant out to sea again. And a crew, for that matter.
Let's see about the other survivors. And somehow we gotta get the ship repaired. I don't want to be paddling out of here on a salvage raft.
For now, I'd say your best bet is to find some sign of civilization. If nothing else, we may be able to hire on a shipwright. My lord, if it is not too taxing, could you explain how it came to pass that you were returned to us?
Squint dramatically while looking out at the ocean. I've returned as the Herald of Dareloth. I'm on a special mission to find Aethys and learn what his plans are.
Sure. I suppose if any mission could be considered special, it'd have to be this one.
A perilous endeavor indeed. Castle or no castle, you are still my lord, and I will aid you to the best of my ability.
Well, I suppose we better get a move on.
Alright, let's go, buddy. So we can have him be a fighter or a rogue or a swashbuckler, which is a fighter or rogue. I don't really see him as a rogue-like character, so we are just going to have him be a fighter. And I am going to level up. So the way that leveling up in Pillars 2 works is you get your active skills and your passive skills. This is kind of like when we would level up athletics, mechanics, whatever in the previous game. Now there's much more for you to choose from every single level. For this character, I think we're still going to want athletics. And you can actually combine, like for group skill checks in this game, you combine the lump sum of your party and what their athletics would be. So the athletics of our party right now with Adair and myself would be 6, while mine is only 3. And our character in the last game he was a pretty smart guy, who's also he's a people kind of guy, you know, and he was also kind of into religion. So I feel like we can spread our stats out that way somehow. Diplomacy is probably the route to go. And then we can, every time we level up, we can choose an ability from one of these classes. So either priest or paladin, or on, well, not or, but and on special level ups. I forget which levels, we'll get a chance to level up both. An ability from both. I think that Deep Faith is probably a good one to start out with. Paladin's defenses are directly affected by the degree to which he or she acts in accordance with the beliefs of their order. A bonus or penalty is applied to defense based on how well the Paladin's reputation aligns with their order's preferred behaviors. So I like that one. It's good for roleplay. More athletics, more diplomacy. And do we have any just flat, like, defense things? Don't need that. I mean, I like interdiction. We used it in the last game a little bit, so we'll take that for being a priest. And what else? Let's put a little bit into history. I feel like our character knows a thing or two about history. And maybe explosives. I've never really toyed with explosives. And now we get an ability for both classes. So we're going to want our Zealous Aura, most likely, for the Paladin, and then for the Priest. Spiritual Weapon could be kind of fun, actually. But I'm actually just going to take a passive here, because I don't think I really need any of these spells. So we're going to do Weapon and Shield style, which will give us a deflection bonus. Equipped shields' deflection bonuses are increased and grant an equal bonus to the character's reflex. So that's perfect. We'll do Flail. And that is all of our levels.
Of course. I'll take care of this.
Help! Somebody! Per Complanca!
The Defiant is looking far worse for wear after its unexpected landfall. The hull has splintered in several places along the keel, while the tattered sails stand as evidence of your battle with the pirates. The deck of the Defiant is well out of reach from here. The ship groans like a beached whale each time the waves roll in, but it doesn't seem to be listing further. You may be able to climb up. I will go up there. You climb nimbly up to the side of the ship and reach the top without so much as breaking a sweat. Adair is not far behind, pulling himself up and over, railing beside you. Having Garrus as a companion once again, but in Avowed, was enough for me to get excited for the game. I hope companions have more personality in Avowed than Bethesda games. Oh, they have so much personality in Pillars, so I'm hoping that the Avowed ones will be the same.
You're looking better, Casita. That, or I'm worse off than I thought.
The sheen of sweat on her brow and the wan cast to her features belies Irena's casual greeting.
It's my leg, Matico. It hurts even worse than it looks.
Irena's leg bears a bloody gouge along the length of her shin, and the swelling around her knee suggests a nasty break. We can just straight up carry her back down.
Quite romantic, Casita. I'll try not to hold it against you if you drop me.
Casita is Valian for captain. Okay.
There must be other survivors out there.
Yeah, let's keep an eye out for survivors. There's a ghost here.
Hope the rest of those sodden bastards made it.
All right.
Sorry, friend. I can't.
Yes? Yes, indeed.
Could be a fight. Suey! Suey!
So we are level 4. I mean, there's plenty of things that we could do here in this fight. I don't know if we necessarily need to. There we go. Counters. This is important to know. Oh, well, I guess I just closed it. Tutorials. Counters. So, a counter is any ability or effect that removes or prevents another category of effect when applied. There are two types of counters, inspirations and keywords. Inspirations are grouped by attribute, dexterity, perception, and automatically counter and remove or prevent the application of the corresponding group of afflictions for that attribute. Afflictions may also be used in the same way to remove inspirations. So this is something kind of new in this game.
I'm here.
I also want to... Here... I'll be in front. Derek can get behind.
I'm here. I shall. Watcher, over here.
Oh, yes, sir. Oh, it's the guy that we saved.
It is good to see you well, Watcher. I believe the Boers were hoping for easy meat.
Chichipek greets you with a relieved nod and checks the pistol at his hip.
The bosun, Beadle, is in that cave over there. Ran in after a boar. Stubborn old dwarf.
I'll look for Beadle.
I will make for the campfire. I must get this pistol cleaned if it's going to be of any use. Be careful in there, Captain. I'll take indeed.
Yeah, the companions in Bethesda games are genuinely just, like, terrible. They have virtually no personality.
I guess we're not the first to head this way.
Is this the Elder Scrolls 6 sailing I've been hearing about? Yes. It's going to be just like in this game. I'm excited for you guys to see how the sailing is in this game, because it's pretty bare bones.
Attack!
Wow, dead. I do keep forgetting that we are on the story mode difficulty, so everything's going to be pretty easy.
Of course.
Okay, insane.
Onward.
Okay, wow. We got some pistols already.
I'm here. I shall. I'll have this open in no time.
Yeah, we have no mechanics.
Let's keep quiet.
See, I'm typically not like a big fan of pirates
I'll take care.
as well, so when I heard that this game was like in the Deadfire archipelago and it was
With relish.
it was going to be like you're on a boat for the game, I was kind of pissed.
Not even close. Take that.
Nice. Yep.
What's a metal killing machine doing out here by himself in a cave anyway? Collecting his dots?
Indeed.
Well, that's gonna be hard.
Dude, I don't know. I just don't like pirates. What can I say? Captain's Eye. While not flanked, where has resistance to perception afflictions. I'll give that to a dare.
Suits me, don't you think? The better part of valor.
Damned pirates! Andra, take your scabrous souls for fish food.
Bayadol! Still alive and calling everybody scabrous, I see. Well, now we got a bosun. Just need a boat.
A dare. And I see that corpse we've been carting around is looking a slight more sprightly. Good to see the two of you, but mind your step. I've got myself in a spot of trouble. Been trying to find a way past without losing a leg or getting a face full of poison.
Okay. We'll set off the traps prematurely with a few heavy stones using our intellect. You wreak havoc upon the traps to the tune of snapping metal teeth and clattering darts. When the cacophony is ended, Bayadol peers out from between his fingers and gives you a broad grin.
Clever, that. Though, it's a good thing none of them were of the exploding variety. Eld Ingram would have gotten a kick out of that, I bet. It's just bats and stinking corpses in this cave. You find anyone else?
We've got a campfire going on the beach.
Then I'll head that way myself. See you on the beach, Captain.
See you, Mr. Bosun.
I'm here, of course.
Okay, so we do have a thing here, but with no mechanics, I don't know if we're going to be able to get in. Actually...
Whoa, look.
Yep. I don't know if we can, Okay, we can't attack it. That sucks. Well, then I guess we'll just leave it.
Attack! course.
There is an athletics check over here.
Fall back. Charge! Yes? Yes? Admiring my outfit.
Okay, the water here glows an eerie blue, and the cave glistens with reflected light. You can just make out an opening in the cavern wall to the northwest, where the water flows onward. The tunnel seems to extend a short distance before turning sharply, but you cannot see where it leads. Swim through. Each taking a last gulp of air at the surface, your party swims into the tunnel, following the cavern wall as it bends. Partway through, Hedoro starts to lag behind. Panic sets in as the remaining distance becomes clear. Adair returns to help, pulling Hedoro forward to safety. You come up into what appears to be another smaller cavern, where sunlight streams in front of an opening in the stone.
I'll handle this.
Told him not to bring that thing in there. Didn't like the look of it one bit. But no one daren't speak poor of his precious animancy tech.
The ghostly figure paces the length of the small outcropping with quick, deliberate steps, muttering to herself all the while. Her long cape flaps with a wind that blows from the in-between.
Special gift from his contact, he says. Now it's acting all weird. Gives me the damn creeps. You feel it too, right? Like it's looking straight through you?
She turns piercing purple eyes on you. She shakes her head and resumes her pacing.
Came out here to get away. Couldn't stand it staring at me anymore. Then... Oh, my memory's fuzzy. Anyway, you want a Benwiths? Haven't seen you for, but he's been bringing all sort of new folks on lately. Can't hardly keep track.
Yeah, I don't know how to tell you this, Spirit, but you're dead.
Spirit? Wait a tick, is that why everything's all grey? Hell, that explains some things. And here I thought maybe I just bonked my head. Look, maybe we should stick together. Feels right, you know? What with you being the only other thing around and all. I can give you a hand with, spirity stuff.
Stay with me. I'll find a way to return you to the wheel.
I tell you, mate, I'd take anything over this endless grey. Even Remagon's frosty arse crack.
The spirit tries to give you a friendly pat on the shoulder, but her hand passes right through you. Unperturbed, she grins and walks along behind you.
Still seeing ghosts, huh? I suppose you're stuck with that.
I'm here.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's everything on this little part of the island here.
I shall. I'll take care of this.
Oh, and there's another spirit. I think we can talk to this one.
Hey, fancy seeing you here.
The spirit's voice warps and shifts, muted as if by a great distance. Even so, he grins brightly at you.
I can't see much of anything, really, apart from you. Just endless gray. What happened?
Yeah, the ship ran aground in the storm, and you died.
Storm? That's strange. You'd think a man would recall a storm. It's like someone cut away a part of my memory. There's just this big black hole. It's weird. I thought death would be different. Big light and so on. But I don't see anything at all. Just you.
Bareth charged me with guiding souls to the afterlife, so I suppose you're my responsibility now.
Oh. Suppose that sounds nice enough. I'll follow you then, shall I?
Come along. Got another spirit. I want to go double check with the one on the beach. Yeah, this one. We can't take this one with us?
At least my leg don't hurt anymore.
Alright. And here is Eld Ingram.
Spy! Magran, here! My flame burns yet! Is that ye?
Eld Ingram appears to be in sound condition, though his waxed jacket is soaked through. He appraises you with bleary-eyed amusement.
You woke just in time for the fun. Fighting off motherless raiders one moment, flung into the freezing depths of Ondra's bosom the next.
Engram's eye twitches as he flashes a smile notable for its extraordinary absence of teeth.
Aye. Magran learns us poor bastards that a little excitement's good for the heart.
The last Magranite to travel with me almost went mad because of his goddess's trials.
Aye, but almost mad ain't fully mad. Ah, old Durance. The goddess shan't forge another like him in our lives, Captain. There's nae getting the ship back underway without repairs. Yonder road inland seems the best chance of that. You want to be kicking some of the corpses before you go, see if some cry out. We need a crew if we're to set sail. I'll see you at the campfire, Captain. Magran's flame warms my soul, but these ailed bones need a touch of the real thing.
Okay, the others are waiting for you.
Good, good. We four will comb the strand. I'd wager the road yonder leads somewhere helpful. Roads mean people, people mean goods. I ween it's worth a try.
Okay. The Forgotten Sanctum has been installed. Yeah. This is like when you start a new playthrough of Oblivion. Okay, so when you move on islands in this game, this is the map. When you move on an island, you kind of like, it's a point-and-click adventure, basically. And you can just go and walk around. You can see that the time of day will change in the upper left. We're going to go here, do this interaction. In the distance, you see a simple wagon. The angle at which it rests on the road, one side jutting above the other, suggests that it has been damaged or disabled. Even from your vantage, you can make out kith milling around it. Kith is the term for just like... the word kith is used to describe the dominant civilized races of Eora, including humans, Almawa, dwarves, elves, Orlans, and godlike. We'll approach openly. As you near the cart, you make out a group of Raedsaran pilgrims in rough-spun linens and cottons. A single draft horse stamps at the ground impatiently, as two of the pilgrims argue over the front right wheel, which seems hopelessly stuck in the mud. How did Bethesda pull off making Elder Scrolls look like a generic fantasy setting on the outside, but the deep lore is outlandish? Isn't it pretty crazy how, like... Elder Scrolls is exactly like that. Like, you have the world's craziest lore, and then it's packaged, like... In Skyrim, it just looks like it's a Norse game. I've seen a lot of people just... They don't even realize, like, that it's in a fantasy... I mean, they know that it's a fantasy universe, but they think it's just like some Norse game. It's kind of upsetting. One of the pilgrims notices you. Her step back draws the attention of the others, and a man in well-worn gambeson steps forward. The weight of deep concern hangs on his face. Did the dreams bring you here as well? The other pilgrims look to you with a mix of apprehension and hope. I used to think Oblivion was the Lord of the Rings, the game, as a kid. Yeah, I mean, it's extraordinarily close. It's kind of like based off of it in a lot of ways. I'm following Aethys. The older pilgrim's mouth opens in amazement. You hear a gasp from another. They look to each other, excitement in their eyes. Praise him, the old man cries out. We are not alone. We had the dreams too. We saw the 3 stars sailing through the sky, piercing the black of a storm cloud. Figured it must be him, Aethys, calling to us. So we came here, to the place we saw in our dreams. The pilgrims look around, matching their sleeping memory to the present. We saw the giant pass, with 3 stars on his brow, but... He sighs and gestures to the wagon stuck in the mud. Sad to say, we could not follow him. Wheels stuck as stuck gets. None of us are strong enough to lift that corner up to get something under it. More than one of us tries, and we just get in each other's way. The other pilgrims nod and stretch, suddenly remembering their aching bodies. Oh, as a priest of Aethys, we have something interesting here. Brethren, you have witnessed the coming of our Lord. Let us pray together to give thanks for this chance to test and demonstrate our faith. Wow. Sure. The pilgrims respond with bowed heads and whispered prayers, heartened by your pious display. Let's take a look at the wagon, and we can just lift it up. You square yourself to the wagon's corner, squat deep, and wrest the wheel from the mud with a grunt. A young Dawnstar stands in shock for a moment, but reacts in time to thrust a thick board beneath the wheel. It takes the better part of an hour to lay down a safe path for the wagon to roll free of the mud. You and the Dawnstars you've roped into your work glisten with sweat, but they laugh happily, singing songs of praise for Aethys. Cool. Smiling, their leader presses a small pouch of coins into your hand. We appreciate the help. Without you, who knows how long we would have been stranded out here. They begin to prepare their wagons as you take your leave. The old man calls out to you as you go. Take care of yourselves and your soul, traveler. Whether you came for Aethys or not, we know in our hearts that he has come for us. Okay. So Port Mage is where we want to wind up.
Better see what that crowd's about.
What if the giant comes this way?
Please, everyone stay calm.
The man at the center of attention appears to be fielding inquiries from both the gaggle of townsfolk gathered around the platform and a rather severe-looking Almawa woman standing just beside him.
Please, everyone remain calm. I assure you I will do everything in my power to get you the answers you need. Our friends among the Huana
have offered you hospitality and safety from the storms.
The Almawa woman folds her arms.
Yes, yes. I think we are all keenly aware of the debt of gratitude we owe to the...
I have personally seen to the safety of your homes. Now you will do the same for our families.
What about our families?
What about the ships? How are we supposed to feed ourselves? If everyone would...
As Clario's gaze sweeps across the crowd, it falls upon you, where it remains. A few more heads turn to see what has caught the governor's attention.
It's one of the pirates.
At this alarmed cry, the whole of the crowd turns to regard you. A startled, expectant hush falls upon the gathered throng. I can't remember if passionate is something that we should avoid, but I remember being quite passionate in the last game. But for now, we're going to say, my ship ran aground just south of here, I need help.
2 of my guards reported a ship flying deer wooden colors, fallen prey to a private vessel. That would be your ship, I assume.
The crowd quiets somewhat at that, though you still find yourself the target of a few glares.
That would make him lucky. Your own vessels do not usually fare so well.
The woman regards you with bland curiosity.
Quite.
I just need some repairs and I'll be on my way.
Percamblanca, everyone, forgive me. I believe this matter requires my attention. You have my word that I will keep you apprised of any changes. Especially you, Mestre Ikawa.
Do not flatter me with Valian titles. You are distracted with your newcomer and wish me gone. But I will not go far, Governor Clario.
Geralde, as for you, stranger, let us speak at my estate. We'll discuss your predicament. Yes, indeed.
Okay, so we can go talk to Clario. I think he makes his way...
You have to do something.
Rinko.
Any of us could be next.
Oh, he lives up here. That's right.
I cannot imagine who might wish to harm you, Mestre.
What marvelous carvings.
Oh, yes. This one is many centuries old. Blessed.
So I do really like the voice acting does, like, help out a lot with the atmosphere of this game, I think.
Ah, yes, there you are. As governor and under the auspices of the Valian Trading Company, please allow me to officially welcome you to Port March.
He spreads his hands in a subdued flourish.
Quite the event, receiving one of the godlike in our little town. Perhaps it will take the people's minds off recent events. Apologies for that little drama outside. These are confusing times, and people often react poorly to uncertainty. Between the storm, the pirates, and the, well, certain strange events, we are all a little on edge.
He spreads his hands in an apologetic gesture. Strange events.
A few, well, quite a few people here in Port Marge claim to have seen a giant of some kind during the storm.
Lario winces.
I would call it a flight of fancy, but unless something has tainted every well in the region, I do not think it can be ignored. But then, the Deadfire is a land full of such things. You must have heard the stories.
That wasn't a giant, it was Aethys. The governor mouths a voiceless ah of understanding and studies you for a moment.
You'll find good company among the Dawn Stars here in town. They have all manner of theories concerning the behemoth.
He rifles casually through a few papers.
Now, to the matter of your ship. You're stranded, are you? It was a rough landing by all reports. Unfortunately, our own ships are in no condition to sail. We've had dealings with the pirates ourselves. They've taken their share of supply ships. The storm saw to those berthed in the harbor. All that said, I believe I may have a solution, provided you're willing to help me in turn.
I'd be happy to help in any way I can.
Marvelous. You've washed ashore like a sign from the gods themselves. I have the guards on the lookout for pirate vessels looking to take advantage of whatever damage the storm caused. We've cannons enough to see them off, but I need every man ready to use them. There is a site of some considerable value elsewhere on the island. A value to the trading company, you understand. In point of fact, it's the very reason any of us are here. You're familiar with the Luminous Adra trade?
I know that Luminous Adra is native to the Deadfire.
It's also quite valuable. When refined, it sells for considerable sums. The trading company has invested a lot of time and money into locating sites suitable for mining and processing.
How valuable?
Valuable enough to make sailing across the world seem like a sound investment. We, and I hope you understand that these matters require some discretion, have one such outpost on the other side of the island. A successful venture, up until very recently. We sought to improve the refinement process. To that end, we hired some of the brightest minds in the field of animancy and brought them out here to lend their expertise. And then one evening, a storm rolls in out of nowhere, and my scouts begin to report that a giant has marched its way across the island towards my dig site. What am I to make of that? We haven't heard from Mestre Odorisi since, nor any of his assistants, or the workers. I must know what has happened. If Odorisi, if his work is lost, then everything that we have worked for is at risk. Which is where you come in. You need a ship, I need information. See to this for me, and I'll set half the town to work. We'll patch up your ship, and you'll be free to go on your way.
Okay, I can do that.
Gelade, then we are agreed. I will assign men to keep watch over your ship. You will find the dig site on the eastern side of the island. I'll mark it on your map here. One more thing. If you should recover Odorisi's notes, know that they would be of great value to me.
Okay, I gotta check my disposition here. So we are not allowed to be cruel, aggressive, or shady. And we should prioritize being honest, diplomatic, and benevolent. Honest is actually the disposition that's favored the most between the shield bearers and the priests of Aethys. So that's good. It's good to know.
Here I shall.
I also totally forgot we need to go talk to somebody here in Port Mage. If they're still here. There we go.
Accept the light, and you shall be redeemed.
A woman shouts, arms raised high and wide. In each hand she grips a golden candle. The flames gutter wildly as she gestures to the crowd before her. The missionary holds a candle to drip wax in the shape of 3 stars on the forehead of each kneeling worshipper. One of them stumbles back, swiping the hot wax from his skin.
Sefutito, Madicchio, I did not sign up to be burned.
Sefutito means fuck this. And Madico is a Valian expletive or curse. I did not sign up to be burned. What do you think you're doing?
Idling, that's what. Making ourselves feel all requited.
Arms crossed over her chest, a shorter, darker-skinned woman watches the ritual with an ornery sort of expression. Her delicate chin jutted up.
We just missed one of the biggest reap-ins of all time. What about the souls that need us?
As she steps forward, she reaches for a peculiar-looking lantern strapped to her hip.
Do not push me on this, you wayward child. You'd leave the living forlorn to service the dead?
Rather than discouraging the other Dawnstar, the accusation seems to kindle a stubbornness inside her. Shoulders set, she grins.
Here, I'll light them all at once.
Metal clanking, she sways an eerily lit lantern in an intricate pattern before her. The priestess bites her lip, swinging harder and faster. Lithe arms hurtling the weapon with a deceptively hidden strength, until she thrusts it hard out toward the crowd, splattering everyone with wax. What souls are you on about?
The ones I dreamed died.
Her words falter as she gets a good look at you for the first time.
I'm guessing you're not here for the baptism.
I'm looking for an Audra statue, yay high, inhabited by Aethys.
I knew it!
She clenches her grip on the sickle in her right hand.
Gon's been calling me here. Left the breadcrumbs in my dreams.
So we didn't really hear a whole lot about Gon in Pillars 1, but I'm going to read this for you guys. Gon is an aspect of Aethys associated with death and harvests. His implements are symbolically important. The sickle reaps what is sowed in life, and the lantern guides the deceased down their intended paths of death and rebirth. It is generally believed that Gon, instead of Bareth's avatars, visit those who embrace death with acceptance and understanding. His most fervent devotees are known as the Harvesters of Gon. Gon is an answerer of wrongs and imbalances. This has contributed no small part to Dyrwood's enthusiasm for vigilante justice. Popular regard for Gon is polarizing. He is appreciated, feared, and characterized by a grim sense of finality. So, Aethys is the god of a bunch of things. He's the god of like light, redemption, and rebirth. So Gon is kind of his aspect that's very associated with rebirth.
I need to get inland. If you're going, I could help you. Swear on my soul.
Let's ask her, actually. Who's Gon?
Gon's a smidge of darkness in the light. He was the part of Aethys who divined the dignity of dying and the return journey to life.
Why do you want to go inland?
There are souls needing their last rites. I ought to shine them the light, else they might get lost.
Enough nonsense, Joti. No one knows if anyone's even died. You've no business going in there, risking your own safety, risking our mission.
Wenglith, you guide the living and I guide the dead. Gon bids it and I dreamed it. Leave it be. We all serve our purposes. So what's yours?
Also, if anybody doesn't know, I'm not going to tell you, but Jodi is a famous voice actress. I'm a watcher.
So you can see souls? That's a handy talent to have. I know my harvesting would benefit from it. And here you are, following my god. Watcher, will you take me with you?
A fine proposition. I'd enjoy the company of a priestess.
I know an offer rare as hen's teeth when I hear it. Yeah, I'm taking it.
She beams brightly.
You won't regret this.
She steals a shy glance at Adair.
Hey.
Adair half nods without looking in Jodi's direction. He seems suddenly focused on something in the distance. A tad too eagerly, she saunters close beside you.
At least take care, child. Come back to us in one piece. If not for my sake, then Samhain's.
The older priestess sighs, shaking her head.
So don't tell her. What the High Priestess doesn't know won't hurt her.
Grinning, Jodi waves her brethren a curt parting. So, Jodi, choose the single class or multi-class for this companion. This choice cannot be changed later. So, we can either have her as a subclass Harvester of Gon Priest, or a Sister of the Reaping Moon Monk. Now, I don't really know what that entails. Sister of the Reaping Moon, a monastic order of Gone and the reaping aspect of Aethys. Sisters of the Reaping Moon are most effective against opponents who are already at death's door. Gains wounds when defeating an enemy with a melee attack. You know what? I've never played her as this priest monk subclass, and since I'm already a priest paladin, let's do a well, what's the Harvester of Gone? What's that one? Proficiency with hatchets. I don't know. We'll do both. We'll do her as this priest monk thing.
The Children of the Dawn Stars. I wondered if we'd run into them down here.
Now, you guys should remember, too, that Adair was struggling with his faith in Aethys in the previous title.
There's someone I used to know. Just an old friend. Came out here to settle with them last I heard. Maybe we should ask around, see if she's still out here. Might be she can help us.
Just a friend, huh?
Shodi rubs the back of her neck, clearly uncomfortable. How did you know her?
Oh, well, both grew up in Gilded Vale, same temple.
Adair looks askance at you. You can trust me, you know.
All right. We used to, you know. She was real loud, too. Used to have to cover her mouth or she'd get the dog howling in the next room.
Jodi's face models bright red, and she turns away, hands covering her ears. I'm going to say you could have stopped a few sentences ago. No, I'm going to say sounds like a special woman.
I knew you'd understand. You're going to like her. I got a good feeling.
Okay. And goddamn, dude, the music in this game. Turn that down. It is just so loud compared to the voices. Indeed. I feel like they're at like the same volume half the time. Okay, so we've got 3 people in our party here. I'm trying to think if we can get anyone else. That went from 0 to 100 real quick. Yeah. Yeah, it did. Because I think Constantin is here, but I don't really want him, to be honest with you. But this is his room, isn't it? Oh, Norgrund. I also...
Yeah,
He's in Nekataka, okay.
Sorry, we haven't any rooms for you.
The rather large man behind the counter glances your way, smiling grimly.
Guessing you're the one came in off that shipwreck down south. Not sure if that's good luck or bad, but here, I figure you deserve a drink.
He slides a murky pint of ale across the counter toward you.
Didn't think you had...
Okay, I'm gonna retrain Jodi and Adair, because we didn't actually get to level them up. I think that's another gameplay thing. But I don't know where we would go for that. Difficulty. Auto level companions. Yeah, we need to turn that off.
Still kicking, eh? What'll it be? It's slim picking.
Okay, we'll have her go into, I guess, mechanics. And religion seems good for her. Lesser wounds. Mechanics, religion. Force of Anguish, I remember being really good. So we'll do that. And we'll do... yeah, I'll just have her be kind of my religion person. And we'll look for... oh, okay, we can get a priest ability and a monk ability. Maybe we can just take this opportunity to get... Yeah. We'll get a buff to our stride, so we'll get a passive there. And then as far as priest abilities go... Maybe we do 2 weapon, because Jody has the lantern and the sickle. So that could be kind of fun. I don't know, we're just playing things by ear. It's not going to be too serious of a playthrough anyway. Blunderbuss, just because that's fun to have. Lantern is a shield. Oh, that's right.
It's slim pick.
Well, if I really want to, I'll change her again. We'll give Adair some... I feel like survival is good for him, and maybe explosives. Discipline barrage. Survival, explosives. Fighter stance. I choose 2 abilities. Yeah, confident aim is fine. We'll give him 2-handed style. I think I'm going to be the tank this playthrough. He's going to be our DPS, so... Or one of our DPSs. And, Adair did wind up becoming the mayor of the, not Deerwood, Deerford. Turns out we don't have a 2-handed weapon, actually. Yeah, I think we actually want to keep that lantern, don't we? Okay, sorry if this is boring, but I'm going to respec Jody really quick to get rid of that fighting style. Legend of Mechanics, this. Legend and Mechanics. This. Legend and Mechanics. And then we'll pick up... We could do Weapon and Shield style. I don't think I'm ever really going to use Mortification of the Soul, but I'll pick that one up instead. It seems a little bit more useful. Spiritual Weapon is cool too. Okay. That should be fine. And now we should be good to go.
I got it. Still kicking, eh? What'll it be?
What's this about rooms?
We're full up. You aren't the first outsider to turn up looking for a place to stay after their ride off the island ended up at the bottom of the sea.
He pauses, fixing you with a considering eye.
Well, tell you what. I've got one room ought to have been cleared out by now. Only the occupants decided to outstay his welcome. Real trouble is, he hasn't settled his bill. He's a merchant captain by the name of Galleon. I've given him a fair chance, but he's been a right prick about the whole thing.
Okay, I'll see what I can do.
I don't...
Says that he doesn't want him to die, basically.
Don't remember ordering more drinks. Thought I'd locked that thing.
The glassy-eyed gentleman before you bears the miserable expression of the recently sober. He also smells like he's been pickling in a cask for a few days.
Blazes. I was going to say you wandered into the wrong room, but by the look of things, it runs in the family. Try not to slam the door on your way out, yeah? My head's going to pieces.
Thorol wants you out of here, dude.
Does he now? And what are you supposed to do about
You really want the guards in here to throw you out into the street?
The governor's got all his guards on high alert, staving off the pirates. So if anyone's going to be doing the throwing, it's going to have to be you. How about it, tough guy?
He reaches out to give you a shove. We're just gonna take the punch, I think. Well, no. We'll just say don't. Galen sneers for a moment, but something in your expression squelches his confidence in a hurry. He scratches nervously at his beard.
All right. Just keep your boots on. We're leaving. Thorol wants us out on the streets so bad, so be it.
You serious, Galleon? Where are we supposed to go?
The Almawa woman glowers at you before following him out. Can't remember if that guy comes up later.
Still kicking, eh?
Cleared out the room.
Good work. Times like these, I can't afford to keep on anyone who can't pay their tab. The second word got around, I'd have every pauper in the city on my doorstep. The room's yours if you want it. And for a job well done, here's your pay.
Okay. Let's get the show on the road. Okay, we're going to exit the city. The trail before you seems thoroughly disturbed by erratic tracks, the sparse plants to the immediate sides of the path roughly mangled. A struggle may have occurred here. We'll have Adair search the area. Adair makes sense of the chaos within moments. No blood spatters suggest it was not a fight, and your compatriot easily identifies the clawed prints of Zaribs. The track seems recent. A dry and ropey vine has been pulled taut across the path and inexpertly covered in dirt. Beyond, a group of robed figures cringe and cower at a nearby river's bend. Each is frozen in place, ashen and gray, like statues crafted of soot. Let Jody disarm it. Jody quietly disarms the trap and collects its component parts. Look for the Zorips, and we'll attack them.
Onward!
Ain't you got the decency to die?
Boom. I should really turn off telemetry? No. Oh, can I not turn off that slow-mo kill?
Yeah, sure thing.
I'll handle this.
Okay, well these guys look like what happened at the beginning of Pillars 1 and all those Engwithan machines. Let's head up this way. Okay. Yeah, nothing really going on in this area, I guess. You can turn it off? Where would that be under? Oh, kill cam, under camera. Okay. Yeah, we need that off if we're going to make any progress in this game quickly. Grab these berries really quick, too. Okay, and within dig site. Oh my gosh, I'm level 5.
I'll take care of this.
Watch your weight.
Jody bends double, hands resting briefly on her knees before she wipes sweat from her brow. Huffing to catch her breath, she glances up to you with a bright smile. You've gained an item, Silver Loosh. The item was put into your stash.
If you'll spare me a minute, I'd like to perform a last rite for these poorly departed souls.
She reaches for the lantern on her hip.
Please, Watcher. Without my guidance, they might have a hard time finding the light.
I'll tell her there are no departed souls here.
What do you mean? Just look at all these corpses.
She waves a hand around as if that explains everything. These people had their souls sucked out by Aethys. Their corpses are just empty husks.
That why they're so ashy?
Her nose crinkles. Exactly. Aethys caused a Beowick when he passed through.
So it's not just symbolism in my dreams. I saw my god walking through storms. Didn't know he created them. While I do thank you for shielding my pride, Watcher, I figure it's better to be safe than sorry. So if you don't mind, I'll just do a calling real quick.
Okay.
Mighty kind of you.
She grins happily. With 2 intent strides forward, she unsheathes her sickle and lantern, fluidly swinging each in a series of well-practiced movements. Chanting, whirling, weapons slicing the air, Jody's voice lilts and falls in an invocation, a summons to any departed lingering in the area.
This here's a final call for all souls. Last stop for the lost. Gather round now, I'll cut you loose and haul you into the light.
Swinging the lantern faster and faster, Jody plants her thighs wide and then thrusts her arms up high over her head. The lantern rattles in her grip, and the light sound from within flares blindingly bright. In the silence of your held breath, it almost seems like a soul should sift up from within one of the corpses, quivering in the air before siphoning into the lantern's fading brilliance. But the ashen bodies are bereft of souls, so in the end, Jody's light fades without acquiring anything. Say nothing.
It's my honored duty to reap and shepherd departed souls during their journey to being reborn. With Aethys dead, me and the other Reapers gotta gather as many souls as we can. We'll keep him safe until Gon returns to Hell and can take him into his divine embrace.
What do you mean?
I'm keeping lost souls. And here.
She taps the metal frame of the lantern.
And that's all I care to say for now. Let's go.
She nods before setting off.
What can I hear you?
Points into diplomacy and athletics. I don't think we need Flames of Devotion at all. I want to focus on defense, I think. Inspires all allies in the vicinity when the paladin downs an enemy, providing a temporary bonus to all defenses. Taking damage gain. Yeah, I think that one's good. We're going off vibes on this one. Explosive survival. Oh, definitely this one.
Yeah, all right.
Could be a fight.
Charge!
Religion and mechanics. Did find a journal page, but it's not Odoresi's.
Of course. Careful. I see them. Onward.
I guess I could start doing actual, like, paladin things, couldn't I? Where is sworn enemy at? There it is.
I reap what I sow.
I hope nobody saw that.
Hmm. God damn. Guys gotta hit something. There we go.
Happy to,
I'll take care of it.
Several men and women appear to be locked inside a cage of some kind. They're little more than silhouettes behind the glass, pointing and gesturing excitedly.
You out there? Are the beasts gone?
One woman comes up to the door, hands pressed against the glass. Yeah, I took care of the creatures. The woman turns away to have a muffled exchange with the others. Then she pulls at something by the door, and you hear a rattling clank.
Perfetto! We are saved!
A youngish man with bright eyes and a twitching smile claps his hands in joy as he steps out of the cage. The woman next to him, however, remains sober.
Me and the Watcher? We're always happy to help.
She beams at you, eyes filled with pride.
Governor Clario must have sent you to rescue us, no? But you do not look like one of his guards.
She rises onto the balls of her feet and peers behind you, as if searching for someone else. She looks to be only midway into her 30s, though the serious set of her mouth makes her seem older. I'm going to say, actually, Clario sent me to find Odoresi, or his notes. An older woman hawks an impressive glob of phlegm onto the ground and kicks a clump of dirt over it.
I told you the governor does not care about us. This is all about profit. For him and the rest of the Valiant.
Caloste!
She silences the other with a sharp look. She turns back to you with a resigned breath.
You are here, and that is what matters.
Where is Odoresi? The Animancers look at one another.
He is still in the ruins, we think.
If he didn't make it to the cage, you should prepare for the worst. She nods.
Most of the ruins are that way, through the door next to the ramp.
She points to a dark entrance in the eastern wall of the arena.
If you are going below, you should take Engfirth with you.
She turns and motions someone to the front of the group.
Hey, he looks just like...
Adair cuts himself off for reasons not yet apparent. His jaw hangs slack. A sharp-featured elf comes to the fore. As he meets your eyes, he gives you a knowing nod. He's earned a few scars, but you recognize Aloth Corficer all the same. He taps a finger to his lips, a sly smile working its way across them.
Engfirth knows a great many spells. At first, he even cast fire to chase away the panthers.
Until the flames nearly caught one of the tents.
Regardless, I'm glad you're all safe.
Agrasima, I do not expect the ruins will be any safer. Many of our people remained behind, which has surely attracted more wildlife. It would be prudent to take help, as long as Engfirth is willing to go.
She looks quickly to Aloth. He nods.
I would be happy to assist.
He holds your gaze with wide, expectant eyes. Okay, we're an honest person, but that doesn't mean we have to always, like, be a snitch. So we're not going to tell them that this is Aloth, but we'll say, what else can you tell me about Engfirth?
I don't think that's really...
He has only been with us a few weeks. He is inexperienced, but he came with a glowing recommendation from an academy in Selona.
That is surely a generous overstatement.
Aloth chuckles uncomfortably and gives you a meaningful look. A glowing recommendation, you say?
Surely we don't have time for...
A pupil of unnatural talent is the phrase I recall. It seems he was loved and regarded by almost all his instructors, though misunderstood, I gathered, by his fellow students.
I cannot imagine why.
Really, this helpful stranger surely has more important things to worry about.
The tips of Aloth's ears are bright red. He glares at you. I think I've heard enough.
If that's all, then perhaps we should be off.
He raises an eyebrow and stares at you pointedly. I'll gladly accept his help. He gives you a quick smile.
Be careful. I'm Miko.
She gives Aloth's hand a quick squeeze before backing away.
I shall try.
Aloth nods at her before leading you a short distance away.
Thank you for your discretion. I'm certain you have many questions, but I fear they must wait until we're off this island.
He casts a regretful glance back at Vanessa and the Animancers. Very well, we'll talk later.
Indeed.
Okay, so do we want him to be a battle mage, a spellblade, or a wizard? Single class or multi-class for this companion. This choice cannot be changed later. I think we'll just stick with the wizard. It's the most straightforward. He'll be our Arcana and Metaphysics guy. I don't know if he's got a particular subclass of wizard that he is, or if he's just a bland, regular old wizard. So I guess we can just choose whatever. Take Wizard's Double. Arcana and Metaphysics. He's already got Rolling Flame, which is one that I like. Bewildering Spectacle. Sure. We'll do that too. He's just a wizard, okay. Fair enough. Exposed vulnerabilities in Fireball are pretty good. And there we go. We got Aloth in our party. Have him way in the back.
What can I do? I hear you.
If you check here, there's a big old footprint here. This is Aethys, the footprint of Aethys that came through here.
I'll handle this.
Offering bowl. Okay. I know this door opens.
Poor fools. They were unprepared for this.
All that remains of this inscription is Raka the Fortunate. The stone around it is worn smooth. Praise to the bold-hearted Avarix. In memory of Sama, beloved sister, I give this statue. Bold-heart. Okay, Avarix, master of the blade. Huh. Never noticed these. I feel like those are important for something. Isn't there like a fire puzzle down? Oh. Yeah. Okay, hold on.
I'm here. I'll take care of this.
These ornate bronze fixtures appear to be braziers. Soot lines the interior of the metallic petals, and as you spy fresh coal beneath a filigreed grating. Someone lit these recently. Had you the means, you might do the same. Okay, we'll light them up.
Well, at least it didn't catch us by surprise.
Yeah. Okay, so this one is Raka the Fortunate. Used to bold-hearted Avarix, master of the blade. So this one's like a couple of lines, some dots. That one looks like tentacles. So the tentacle one.
I'll take care of this.
And
sure.
This one. Is that right?
Yeah.
And I must be missing something.
What can I do you for?
Of its sister. The legs have been removed. Are there any that look like legs? Okay, so it's a pattern of 3. 1.
What do you need?
2.
Yeah.
Oh, hey. I have never figured out that puzzle before. Gladiator sword.
Yes?
Alright, cool. Find the shields. Hey, man. We were able to figure it out without them. Let's take this sword. I guess I'll give this to a Dare for the time being.
I'm here, of course.
Could be a fun.
Okay. With Aloth, can we just, like... Hold on, I want everybody to back away. Nice. Never even knew how to do it, just tapped until there are those until succeeding. Yeah, I never figured that out.
I'm here.
It's the second time that... Oh, yeah, second time that you, didn't know how to do a puzzle.
I'm here, indeed.
We got trouble, folks.
Oh, not a Will-o'-the-Wisp. Oh, Aloth, that's overkill. That's okay, buddy. You don't need to... Please don't cast this. you could do something else.
Let's try again.
Okay.
Onward.
There we go.
How may I help?
I shall.
I'll handle this.
We got trouble, folks.
Stop trying to cast Fireball. Stop
Let's
it.
try again. Oh, of course.
Oh, wait, this is Pillars 2. Spells regen after...
No. Fall back.
After every fight, right? Yeah, okay, never mind. Do as you will.
Charge. I'll take care of this.
I want to say it's this way.
Yes?
Yep. There we go.
That's Odorisi.
Frozen mid-stride, this grim figure is turned toward the colossal pillar of Adra that dominates this chamber. The ashen corpse's outstretched hand rests upon the crystal's dulled surface. Clutched tightly in the remnants of a fist is a bundle of papers, bound together by a leather cord. Several more pages are scattered on the ground at your feet.
This one's ashen. Means he ain't got no soul for me to tend to, right?
As you pull the papers free, the ashen fingers gripping them slow away, disintegrating into a fine plume of dust. Standing here by the lone figure, you are struck with a feeling of dread. The air around you, the very motes of ash and dust, all of it is stagnant and still. The feeling grows worse when you look up at the Adra and sense no energy flowing into its surface. It is as though it has been disconnected from the wheel.
You place your hand against the pillar of luminous Adra. A dim, warm light emanates from the surface, but it feels cool to the touch. Pinpricks dance along your fingers, uncomfortable but not painful. A woman's voice, scratchy, distant, and halting, echoes in your mind.
Find your soul in him.
You concentrate, peering into the Adra's energy as you would peer into a soul. Its inner light is blinding. But as you become accustomed to it, you perceive the core of the Adra itself. A churning mass of millions of soul fragments. With a jolt, the energy reaches out to you. The Angwithan ruin fragments around you, breaking into incoherent shapes and dissolving to dust, falling into an infinite well of dark gray vapor. Even the ground itself disintegrates into nothingness. All that remains is the murky expanse of the in-between. The Adra Pillar, and a skein of golden threads rooted in the pillar that extend far off into the distance. You focus on the threads. You catch glimpses of memories, your memories, mingled among the memories of thousands of other captive souls. The filaments begin to cohere, rapidly twining into a golden cord. With a muffled crack, the cord ripples outward in a violent wave toward the endless distance. The cord undulates over a space so vast that you lose sight of the wave before it finds its end. Then, a heavy creaking, like the sound of mountains shearing under their own weight, washes through the dull gloom of the in-between. A violent force yanks you along the cord at an incredible speed. The murk of the in-between warps erratically, as though you are observing it through an ill-ground lens. Just as quickly as you were pulled forward, you stop, suspended below a massive figure of ancient carved Adra. Like all Adra, it glimmers with energy, but the souls and memories within it are not flowing down. They churn in a vortex that burns at the heart of the statue's mass in some invisible engine. It is Aethys. The great golden cord terminates in his back, sending pulses of energy throughout his limbs as they move. He walks in long, slow strides toward a brilliant pillar of Adra far in the distance. It shines even more brightly in the in-between than Aethys. From within the teeming throng of souls, dozens of eyes look out to you. Through the cord, their collective anguish and despair push at the edge of your mind.
Help us! Please! Help us!
Their voices echo in your mind. Somewhere within their ranks, you can feel the presence of your own soul slumbering deeper in the gyre.
Aethys, stop.
Aethys' stride slows and stops. His head slowly pivots until its great burning eyes are cast back along the cord. As his gaze meets yours, you feel an overwhelming rush of incredible joy mingled with profound sadness. You have sensed similar anguish in lost souls, but never with this intensity. A soothing voice drifts into your mind.
It takes great bravery to venture through the in-between, even for a watcher.
A swell of admiration radiates out from the god's heart, a force so intense that it momentarily overwhelms you.
You do not need to follow me, for their sake or your own. Something beautiful is coming. Something that will save us all.
A great light shines from Aethys' brow, so bright that even the souls within him flinch from the source, cowering in fear. Through the glare, you see Aethys' massive arm reach up to grasp the golden cord. The tether carrying energy from the Adra pillar to him, that also suspends your consciousness.
Wait.
Time cannot stop for any of us, Watcher. Even me.
Aethys yanks on the golden cord, pulling it from his back. The cord tears into filaments that blacken and dissolve to dust. Without pause, he turns to resume his stride toward the distant pillar of Adra, shining on the boundless horizon. You hear the souls within him cry out for just a moment, before your consciousness is snapped away from them. The in-between goes dark. For a second, you feel a mix of nausea and a sensation like spinning and falling. Then the moment ends. Your consciousness has returned to the Angwithan arena. The world is sideways, the Audra pillar upside down. You flinch at the feeling that you're standing on the ceiling. The disorientation overwhelms you and you collapse to your knees next to the luminous Audra pillar. Previously dim and flickering, the pillar now glows with a strong and steady light. You touch the Audra again, but the chill and prickling sensations you felt before are gone, replaced with a comforting warmth, like the embers of a fire that has just lost its flame.
As you return to the world, you feel a hand on your back.
You alright? Come on, we just got your back.
Despite his tone, you can see genuine concern in Adair's eyes. I say, I'm fine.
Yeah, I heard you say that before. Had something to do with a 2,000-year-old lunatic talking to you in your dreams. I've seen you commune with souls of the dead, but this looked altogether different. What happened?
His gaze flickers to the brightly glowing Audra. Well, I saw Aethys and he saw me. Well, thousands of suffering souls were trapped within Aethys. I was powerless to help them.
I don't believe the god of rebirth wishes souls to suffer. If he's harvesting them, he's got a plan. What did Gon say? Is he gonna meet us? What do we do next? He charged you with a divine calling, didn't he? Just like he's done for me.
I saw more luminous Audra in his path, but he told me not to follow, that something beautiful is coming.
I wonder if he said the same thing to people in Raid Saris 20 years ago.
I wonder what he's after, and why he's been giving me these dreams. The things I've seen, they leave a mark on your soul.
She rubs her arms despite the balmy air.
I may not know what Gon's got planned for me, but clearly he wanted me to meet you.
Well, like Zoinks, gang, let's get out of here.
The season of harvest. Here.
I'm here. I'll have it. Indeed.
Animancer's hat. Journal entry. Okay. What is this? Moss and grime have been scraped clear of large portions of this mural, revealing the vibrant hues of the Ingwithan figures beneath. Ah, okay, here's that shield that someone was talking about in chat. Doro the Reckless defeated 7 beasts barehanded. Cool.
I'll take care of this.
Hey, watch out.
Attack!
Yeah.
Right on top.
Me and you are about to mix.
Lava beyond sick.
Ulu thin. What can I do?
Oh, was that a two-handed sword? Great sword. No, it doesn't look like it. Damn, I want Adair to have a great sword. As the souls move past you, some turn their heads in your direction, but most seem fixated below you, on the Audra pillar beneath your feet. A few nod their heads in thanks or raise a hand to acknowledge your presence.
What do you see that I can't, Watcher?
Thank the gods the island's lost souls are finally heading to the Audra pillar.
It's up to the gods to look after him now. You did good, Watcher.
A small group of souls has started to cluster around you. One of them is standing a bit closer than the others and gestures for your attention.
Watcher, we'd like to come with you.
Sounds good.
You have our thanks. We appreciate that you showed us the way to the Adra. But what if it goes dark before we reach the Beyond?
The other souls around her nod in agreement.
Can I harvest the souls now?
Sure.
Thank you for aiding my mission, Watcher. I just knew you'd help me if I followed you.
Jody glides her hands in a series of motions that resemble a martial art or an intricate dance. As she slides a circle around the area, she begins swinging her lantern faster and farther from her body until an ephemeral light flares from inside. The lure is answered, and several souls change course, drifting past the lantern's cage to disappear.
Thank you, Watcher.
All right.
Okay, I think that the guy's notes are just like up here in this room. Yeah, the foreman's quarters. Ophelia drowning. Good evening to you as well.
Quiet.
I like the darkness.
Jesus Christ, ally. Ooh, the champion's medallion. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
We bring that to the spot.
What can I do you for? Sure thing.
Okay, I guess that's not where his notes are. Don't you just get the notes from Odorisi's corpse? Oh, maybe. I guess I might have been thinking of the medallion in there. Stranded. Yeah, okay. Odorisi's fate is clear. I don't actually know if we're going to give him the notes, though. I don't think you need to give him the notes. Dude, is that like a stock sound effect? That sounded like the Skyrim stone door noise. Get some extra health here. I think actually Jody could use that because her health is pretty low.
Happy to oblige.
We will remain here to see to our...
Sounds good to me.
I'll handle this.
I want to say there's like a ton of
I hear you.
traps in here.
Do you see that?
Yeah. I haven't played this game a ton, but
See a soul
I
in the
remember it.
darkness, one ready for reaping.
Ooh, jeez. Come on. There we go.
Happy to oblige. Oh! Hit me again and I'll hit you
You
back.
gotta respect Aloth leading with the fireball every time.
Nuh-uh, didn't work.
Yeah?
Okay.
Hey, sure.
Let's get going. go to this Garichi Street really quick. There's a thing we can do here. As you make your way along through the side streets of Port Maje, you come upon visible traces of the storm's passing. Many of the houses here boast cracked window panes and sagging awnings, and you pass narrow streets strewn with foliage and debris. The cobblestones beneath your feet are still slick with water and silt. Before long, you are ankle-deep in sucking mud and loose stones. The flooding only worsens up ahead, where the water level rises to the knees. Most of Port Maje's residents have fled this region for dry land, but the murmur of raised voices ahead and the occasional splash suggest that you are not entirely alone.
Yeah? Sure.
+1 perception, and what else? Oh, protective Aethasian charm. Well, I just want to wear that.
Attack!
Dareloth, you gotta chill out.
Let's try again.
Something must be wrong with my vision. No matter how much I blink, I cannot make out more than blurry lights in the darkness.
Yeah, come with me.
Dead?
Let me ease this one's pain, Watcher.
Jody circles her lantern around the departed soul.
Oh, of course.
I could have sworn there's like a guy here that you can talk to. Maybe he's further down this way.
Nothing but endless grey mist. This is not the afterlife I was promised.
My friend here is a harvester of Gone. She'll help you find your way.
Right. You'd best follow me then.
She addresses the empty air, a smidge to the left of where the deceased woman actually stands. But when she glides her lantern through the soul's amorphous form, the essence coalesces inside.
Oh, of course.
It's kind of funny, I forgot that Jody actually can't see these spirits in the way that I can. Ah, this is the guy. Ilari.
Not much cause to come out this way unless you're looking for trouble. Although you've found it.
The young elf's hand drops to the pistol on his belt, palming the grip. The faintest hint of a sneer plays about his lips as he watches you, unblinking. What are you doing here?
See? This is my street. That doesn't change after a little rain. That Storm Speaker, she didn't concern herself much with this place, did she? Me and my gang, we keep the peace here, and the locals pay their dues. Nothing here now but what they left behind. Come now, did the Watch Commander send you? Are her guards cowering away in their own cells while you save the day?
Okay, yeah, I'm not here to talk.
Merla!
That doesn't give me any points in being aggressive, but this guy's kind of being a dick. Actually, what, Okay. Well, Aloth, start off with this, please. Shodi, I would like you to do a mortification of the soul. Have a dare. Do that one. I will do... Let's do Sworn Enemy for once on the actual boss. There we go. Another thing that I found out, the VA for the narrator of PoE1 and Vicar Max is also VA for Durance. Really? He's got a good range. Let's bless everybody. Oh, no, don't hit a dare with that.
That would be a no. Not sure I can.
That's it.
God damn it, my accuracy's so low as Sandro's story. Okay, we'll do this. There we go. Wow, that was a lot easier once I was able to get everyone up there. There we go. Damn, does it not stack in this game either? Oh no, this is accuracy. Perfect.
I shall.
Go back to the main area. It'd be interesting to see if Durance gets brought back in Avowed somehow. I wonder how long after Pillars 2 Avowed takes place. Because we know it takes place after. But how long after?
What can I do for you?
I have information
At
about your
last,
dig site.
perfetto. Tell me, please, what has happened? How much have we lost? I must know.
Sorry some of your animancers made it, but I'm afraid Odorisi was killed when Aethys arrived.
I see. I suppose we are fortunate to have any survivors. And Odorisi's notes. His research?
Clario's gaze searches yours with almost feverish anticipation. Well, we can't do anything shady, because it'll impact our abilities, and we're bound by our oath, so we'll give him the notes.
You
Found
did.
these.
Gods be kind.
Clario takes the bundled notes from you with barely restrained urgency. Within moments, he is flipping through the papers, his eyes sweeping back and forth across the pages.
Perfetto! We are saved!
Clario lets out a relieved, almost giddy laugh, looking up with you with a toothy grin. A grin he hides soon after, beneath a cough and a look of some regret.
That is, Odorisi's legacy is not wholly lost. I like to believe the man would find that pleasing.
He folds the papers once again and sets his hands over them protectively.
You say this is all the work of the Titan, of Aethys, and you still insist on looking for him? He destroyed your ship, killed my people. Would it not make more sense to sail to the far side of the world and away from all this?
I do not turn away from my duty.
No, that much has been made very plain to me. So be it.
Aethys is using the Adra pillars as an energy source. If I can find more, I can find him.
Merla. He will ravage every outpost in the Deadfire. That Adra is why we are here. Why everyone is here, in truth. The Valiant Trading Company, the Royal Deadfire Company, countless mercenaries. You'll want to go to Nekataka. Queen Onekaza II rules there at the Kahanga Palace. Anyone seeking to do business in the Deadfire Archipelago must negotiate with her first. The Queen knows every Adra vein of worth in the Deadfire. I'm certain she can help you. That is, if she agrees to see you at all.
Then that's where I'm going next.
And for that, you need your ship. I'll arrange it with Ekawa. Between the two of us, I'm certain we can gather the workers we need. Head down to the beach once you are ready to depart.
Thanks.
Pompiaco. It is only right. After all you have done for me. I won't keep you further. You have a long and very strange journey ahead. Some advice. After you have had your audience with the Queen, seek out the Valian Trading Company. They make their headquarters in Nekataka, and the company always appreciates good help.
By the way, did you mention what DLCs are you gonna do? I'm debating whether or not we're gonna do the DLCs, because the thing is, I want to get this game finished before the 13th, which is in 5 days. And I also am working on the next lore video for the channel, which I need to get that out before... Well, I want to get that out soon, before here.
No doubt about
before Avowed comes out.
Quite
So
the dramatic
I need to read over the script
Deadfire Company works with all types.
On a Deerwood
for that video. I need to move away from those people. They're distracting me. Yeah, but I'm going to be reading through the script of the new lore video and then trying to get that finished within the next 5 days. It's going to be a lot of work, but hopefully we'll be able to do it. So I don't know if we'll have enough time to do DLCs for this game. We'll see. I definitely don't think I'm going to do Seeker, Slayer, Survivor, because that is basically all combat from what I remember, and it's not really... I didn't really like it the first time.
Gotta wait in my lantern now. Almost feel like I can hear the soul when I jostle it around. With every soul, my lantern's getting heavier and heavier in my hand.
How are you feeling? Have you suffered any recent nightmares?
I did. Recently with you. You were walking the depths of the ocean, but you didn't drown. And in your hand, you gripped the key to Aora's end. I've seen stars wreathing a statue's brow, and souls flowing like tears over gleaming Audra. And then my god headed into the heart of the storm, where he could find the darkness. Tell me what's on your mind?
What are your thoughts on Aethys?
We talking during the Saints' War, or after he died?
Well, what's the difference?
Well, before he died, he was still Aethys as the majority of my brethren know him. Aethys embodied a human, and when that human got blown to bits, we all believed Aethys died. And I think a part of him did, the part he'd most closely woven into living flesh, the part that represented life, and rebirth after death. Which means the part of him that could have survived, that stormed across the Deadfire seas, was the side more aligned with obsidian, rot, and falling away. That which is death.
Interesting. Tell me about Aethys leading up to and during the Saints' War.
I really only know what my folks taught me. Aethys embodied Saint Widwin, but during the war, he got blown to bits. That's the thing about human bodies. Eventually, they all gotta die. As the god of rebirth, of course, Aethys would be coming back. But where I differ from my family's view, and my High Priestess's view, is that I've studied the apotheosis of Gone, and I know all about the backside, the downward swoop, the death part of the cycle of life. Obsidian, rot, regrowth. What's gone can never be again. What comes back is changed. Always. Even if what comes back is a god.
What's your take on Aethys following the Saints' War?
Then you mean gone. Sure, maybe my god still answers to Aethys as well. Why not? But Aethys died, and death requires change. He ain't what he was. Not in exactly the same way. That's why I think his other aspect, his darkness in the light, is what's burning brighter in him now.
Okay.
No need to fiddle-foot around. I'm sure thing watcher.
Cool.
Indeed.
Good character. How do we leave?
Race you to the coral.
No contest.
I forget where we go
Just
to.
because you have webbed...
There's a boat somewhere, isn't there?
You are a strange man.
Also, let's see. We're at a 1 for benevolent and diplomatic so far, so that's good. Let's see. Go to quests. Reach the city of Nekataka. Oh, do we just have the boat now? Like, we don't have to go grab it anywhere? I guess we just have it. Or maybe we don't. Maybe we're going to Yamawa. Oh, where you crashed. Okay. That makes sense. Ugh.
Good, you are here. Clario has made good on his promise. We are making ready to free your ship.
Ikawa gestures toward your vessel, where a motley group of Huana and Valian workers race to and fro.
I say still that you are fortunate. The ship was nearly lost, but it will float. For how long, I cannot say. You will wish to find a friendly port with some speed, I think.
Do you know where Nekataka is?
So you will go to the great Kahanga city as well. You must sail north for some time, and then a little east. Take care in Nekataka, outsider. It will close its jaws around you, and you will never notice. Come, we will see your Defiant out to sea.
Okay, you've received a curious message from Harbinger Vatnir. Oh boy, we can read that later.
We should address the matter of our ship's resources before we get underway. It saddens me to inform you that we lost several...
Okay, I think this is just talking about...
I suggest we...
Yeah, looking for supplies and stuff. We are just simply going to sail right to Nekataka. We don't have enough crew members to properly manage the ship. Well, damn. We'll figure it out. As the Defiant leaves Port Maji behind, you casually observe dozens of other ships coming and going, mostly fishing and trade vessels. One craft stands out, an imposing dhow, replete with cannons, crests into view across the Defiant's starboard bow. The flag, raised high atop its sail, signifies a wish to parley. However, the dhow approaches at an aggressive speed, suggesting that it may not be easily turned away. Just, yeah, we'll do nothing. The distance closes quickly, and soon the massive dhow The dhow's hull rolls on the waves beside your ship. Boarding planks emerge and are quickly cast onto your ship, along with shouts from its crew notifying you that their captain will be boarding. Several well-armed men cross the planks, their eyes watching every inch of your ship. The crowd parts open to make way for their captain, a tall, well-dressed man. He peers at you with one impeccably groomed eyebrow raised. Following behind the captain, and in stark contrast, strides an unkempt Orlan. A pair of pistol grips protrude from his belt, and he casually twirls a stocky firearm around his index finger. His shaggy face, framed by long, cobalt blue hair and a wildly braided cerulean beard, makes the crooked smirk he directs at you seem almost sinister.
Ado, Watercadno. On behalf of the Principes and Patrina, I must request we meet in parley.
You have my attention.
Agrasima. I will make this quick. I have heard some marvelous tales regarding your ventures in the Deerwood. In fact, you are the first dragon slayer I have ever met, outside of a grave. Some fools would seek to make a fortune by pilfering from one such as you.
I take it he is not one of those fools. Perhaps we should listen.
Under the captain's words, you hear a faint but insistent buzzing. It blooms, overwhelming Ferrante's voice, drowning out all else around you. No one else seems to notice. A vision. Thunder cracks between your ears, and you glimpse a different sun-shod sea behind your eyes. Fight against it? Oops. You close your mind against the spiritual invasion, but the visions slide around and through your defenses, washing over you as implacably as the sea. Placidly? The visions streak across your mind's eye, fleeting and incoherent. An elf, dark-haired and battle-scarred, stepping across the gulf between vessels. She shakes Ferrante's hand, and warmth spills through you. Excitement, pride, respect. The imagery melts like candle wax into a lamp-lit galley swamped with the scent of unwatered rum and sweet fruit, with sailors and their songs and sweat. The scene billows away, ice-cold and clawing, replaced with the crew on deck, solemn and staring, as Ferrante grasps one of their own by the throat. No, not one of their own. No more. You don't steal from family, and stay family. Tears and mucus mar the man's features as Ferrante reads the man his last rites. Thief or no, they'll consign him to Andra as tradition dictates. The vision passes, leaving you blinking on the deck of the Defiant, looking into Ferrante's face. He raises an eyebrow.
I believe you have met such a fool. Captain Benweth of the Drake.
I'm going to say, I know a cipher's handiwork when I feel it. Tell yours to stay out of my head. The Blue Orland's mouth falls open.
Voxen of Ubildet Merla. Careful, ship hunter. Mind that you do not confuse a useful skill set for a non-expendable one.
Ferrante glares at Seraphim. The Orland steps back, blinking away the rebuke, and peers at you, probing. His yellow-green eyes narrow, unfocused, as if trying to remember something. Then the captain turns a warm smile back to you.
My apologies. Rest assured, it will not happen again.
Apologies, Captain. Didn't mean it, really. We're up all night, you know, searching out our friend here. You've been at sea a while. Your mind starts playing tricks on you, aye? Well, mine plays tricks on others, too. Usually don't mean much. Maybe see a bit of shadow, hear a bit of tune. Not unless the person's sensitive. Like, say, a watcher.
You say this Captain Benwith is the one who attacked me?
Ah, the short-sighted scoundrel has been wreaking havoc in the area for months. He is no son of Velia. I do not fault his ancestry, but he disregards too much the grand heritage we Principi represent. Benweth is the second most selfish captain within the Principi's newest generation. He risks all that we value.
If Benwith's the second most selfish captain, who's the first? He pinches at his lips, eyes narrowing thoughtfully, but you can see that he's biting back a mischievous grin.
Perhaps I have said too much. This here is a problem solely of my own. For now.
If Benwith is one of your own, shouldn't you take responsibility for his actions?
Benweth is no captain of mine, Aimiko. It is not beneath my flag his Drake sails. Yet I do seek to temper his actions when they would endanger the Principe altogether.
Where might I find Captain Benwith? Say I wanted to teach him a lesson.
Benweth's Drake took damage during the storm. Eventually he will need to dock for repairs, and when he does, Seraphim can find him for you. He is rather an unrefined creature, but he is a most skilled ship hunter, I assure you.
Unrefined? Begging your pardon, Captain, but I'd be the fucking model of the gentleman of fortune. As for Benwith, that sucker of squid tits be as predictable as the tide. I'd wager all my furriest bits that he'd set sail for Deadlight.
That would be felicitous indeed, as I believe the traitor Remaro hides there as well. I quite enjoy killing two men with a single bullet.
Wouldn't have even thought of it if you hadn't brought it up, sir.
Yet you feel a surge of anger that's not your own. Seraphim spins toward you and bows again.
Now, I ain't hardly in any hurry to leave the fine company of the gentlemen of leisure, but the captain be right about me finding your mark. Adding to that, you sail into Fort Deadlight not knowing your innies from your outies, you might very well find the locals cannon fucking your boat to sodden splinters.
What can you do for me?
Are you asking aside from my vaunted ship hunting abilities, self-evident manners, and encyclopedic know-how of all things piratical?
Well, yeah, aside from the obvious.
Well, there'll be me knowing my way around Fort Deadlight, so named on account of it being a fortress and all. I got my contacts inside, and I'll be half handy with a gun if shit goes belly up. Adding to that, I'll be right easy on the eyes. Or so the lasses tell me.
Yeah, quite easy.
I'll be the old package and a half, Captain.
He bows again, only half as low this time, his eyes never leaving yours.
As you see, Seraphim is both insufferable and marvelously useful.
Well, welcome aboard.
Oh, you won't be regretting this, Watcher. At least so long as you keep us heavy in grog and light on the onions. Ugh, them dirty shit apples ain't never agreed with me, and I'll be suspecting they never will.
He's not sleeping near my berth, I promise you that much.
I sail now for Dunwich, my own safe port. I will await you there, should you be successful in schooling our wayward captain.
Okay, we're gonna make him just a pure cipher. How far is Nekataka? I think we got the thing where the whole map is revealed.
The ring of a bell comes to you on a cold wind. The ring comes again and again, until soon the air is full with the sound of 1,000,000 bells ringing all at once. You are alone. And then, you are not. An indistinct figure stands before you, flickering between forms like a fire-cast shadow. A fixed, taunting grin. Bottomless black eyes. A yawning chasm in the earth. The aspects of Bareth, the Usher and the Pallid Knight, shift in and out of focus. And at their back, 4 indistinct shades hover. You feel an eternity stretch out behind each of them, reaching back to places so distant and yet so near you cannot comprehend their size. The shifting image of Bareth settles on the aspect of the Pallid Knight.
Watcher.
Her voice is the discordant clangor of gongs struck out of time.
I tasked you to discover Aethys's intentions. Tell me what you have learned.
Well, he's stomping around the Deadfire, yanking up souls like a giant Adra soul magnet.
The Pallid Knight knits her brows.
He does not seek to return to the beyond? Intriguing.
Her sickly pale skin pulls tight across the bones of her face, as if the shell of this aspect does not quite fit the impossible creature it contains.
How's it going, Avizzi?
The figure nearest Bareth dissolves and reforms in the image of a thin-lipped, ancient crone whose face has felt the melting kiss of fire. The goddess Wodika strides forward.
Does Aethys frighten you, Bareth? He should. Magran subdued Aethys's influence once before, and yet he returned.
From out of Wodika's shadow shuffles a hunched, bald man you recognize as the god Scan. His skin is mapped with swollen lash scars, and breath whistles through the ragged hole in his face where his nose once was. He does not speak, but stares up at Wodika with naked loathing plain on his ruined face. Wodika steeples her long, knob-jointed fingers.
We must annihilate Aethys now, before he makes a rash decision we cannot easily annul.
She casts a sly look at the Pallid Knight from the corners of her eyes.
A moon would do the job nicely.
You would destroy Aora for what? Spite?
Wodika stares at you down her long nose.
I would destroy it all in the blink of your wide eye if I believed it would benefit me. Empires can be rebuilt. Souls can be reforged. Do not forget it.
The figure beside the aspect of Bareth flows forward in a swirling cloud of ash. The ash falls to the tiles and reveals a molten-skinned woman, leaning on a monstrous, wicked-edged broadsword.
Got all my errands done, just deciding what to make for dinner. Thinking just some snack food, spring rolls, and pot stickers. Don't feel like cooking? Yeah, I actually need to get some pizza rolls going soon here. I bought them like a week ago and I forgot about them.
Mogren's glowing lips curl in disdain.
We must find a solution to the problem of Aethys that is neither do nothing, nor destroy the world. I acted in haste during the Saints' War. You will not goad me into doing the same now. To move against him while his plans are unknown would be the height of foolishness. We must find wisdom in precaution.
What kind of precautions do you suggest?
Mogren looks at you as one might a wayward gob of spit on one's shoe.
It is no business of yours what the gods decide.
Another of the silent figures steps forward, and the warm, golden light of a summer's afternoon spills across your face.
Let's all take a deep, calming breath. Perhaps cooler heads will prevail.
Behind Helia's words, you hear the soft coo of doves.
Aethys has been separated from us for too long. Isn't it possible he intends only to gather enough souls to reclaim his realm in the beyond? He should be welcomed.
You look up then into avian eyes. Through them, you see clouds of starlings converge and divide.
What if he intends to betray you?
Helia puts a feathered hand to her chest.
He wouldn't. Betrayal is not in his nature.
Scan shuffles forward.
Yes, yes. We should welcome Aethys' return to the fold. His gratitude we can leverage to cajole him into divulging his plot. Then, when he believes himself to be in our good graces, we do as Wedeka suggests, and crush him into the earth.
Scan licks the ragged edge of his lipless mouth and grins, then turns to Helia.
Scan is so disgusting. Like, he's described far more disgusting than I think they could ever portray him as, because this like little bald guy here, I'm pretty sure his eyeballs should be cut out and like his nose clean off, and he should have no lips on his mouth. He's just like disgusting.
I did not expect such a deliciously ruthless idea from you, Helia. I am impressed.
Helia's feathered crest stands on end.
You wretched little creature.
The pallid knight gestures for silence.
Aethys cannot be killed, but he may be subdued. Yet to do so will take immense power and time. Both stand in his favor.
Mogren grits her black glass teeth.
That is why we must ascertain his plans before he has the chance to put them into motion.
She begins to pace. Her steps leave little trails of fire in her wake. Mogren stops and balls her hands into flaming fists.
Even if we manage to destroy his current form, there is the possibility he could return, if he has not already absorbed all of his children.
Absorbed his children? I don't understand.
The pallid knight casts a cold, cutting glare in Mogren's direction.
Mogren speaks too freely. That knowledge is beyond your ken, Watcher.
Wodeka waves the gods to silence.
Aethys gathers strength. His strength is a threat to us.
Her voice takes on a sharp, almost panicked edge.
There is no sensible answer to the question of a resurgent Aethys, other than decisive, final action.
There's no cause to act now.
Your opinion is unasked for, but noted.
The pallid knight says.
We will act when it is appropriate to do so, and not before.
The pallid knight steps away from the half-circle of assembled gods. She pulls herself up to a great height. The words she speaks next come not from her mouth, but from all around you.
Follow him, Watcher.
The black of the pallid knight's irises expand until her eyes are as dark and cold as the void between stars. She bends down and brings her ghostly face level with your own.
Your debt to me remains unpaid.
This is bullshit. Yeah, I'm gonna say that.
She stares at you, unblinking. Like a needle drawn to a magnet, you are pulled toward her one compulsory step at a time. You blink open your eyes and find yourself on the floor of your ship's cabin. Alone.
I'll handle it.
Okay. Fragments of Whispers of Yenwood. Cool. This is a really cool little thing you can get. A letter from Offra. So if you don't remember, Offra was Kalisha's sister that we helped out in Gilded Vale by giving her a placebo for her hollow-born child. Hedoro, I hope this letter finds you in good health. It has been many summers now since you first arrived in Gilded Vale. Much has changed in those years, but I will never forget the kindness you showed me. The gods have blessed me with a son. He is healthy and strong and already so curious. All of Gilded Vale dotes upon him. I have told you of him. He asks constantly after the Watcher who restored his spirit and hopes one day to meet you. Until then, know that we keep you in our prayers. Your most grateful servant, Offra. So, the reason for this is because we sided with Helia and we gave the souls back to the Deerwood. So that's pretty cool. Let's talk with Aloth now.
Thank you again for maintaining my story in front of Vanessa and the others. I didn't enjoy deceiving them, but it seemed simpler than the alternative.
Keeping up a lie is never simple. You should know that better than anyone.
Believe me, I take no pleasure in duplicity.
What exactly were you doing out here?
After we parted, I set out to destroy the Leaden Key. It's controlled us for too long. I wanted to free Kith from it. So for 5 years, I've been tracking down Leaden Key circles, searching for the places where they operate in secret, trying to undo them.
Just make sure that they can never commit an atrocity like Widewind's legacy. Never again commit an atrocity. He gives you a wan smile.
The task has been more difficult than I anticipated. I don't think I fully understood the weight of the decisions I would have to make, or the burden of living with them. It was much easier when I only had to follow someone else's lead. My father's, Theos's, yours.
You had a sense of purpose when you began this. Don't lose it.
I haven't. After we defeated Theos, I thought the hard part of undoing his work would be tracking down the Leaden Key's members and operations. Perhaps this would be easier with an example.
Weird Harry Dubois portrait. Yeah, I think I still have that installed, actually.
A run-down backwater of a place. Centuries ago, the Leaden Key had intervened to end some heretical cult. The details were lost, but what had endured was a practice of ritual bloodletting. A gruesome, pointless tradition. At every full moon, the villagers would feed the soil with their blood. No one, young or old, sick or hale, was exempt.
You helped them, right?
That's where it gets complicated. The village priest administered the practice. Grim old fellow. Reminded me of Theos. He was a tyrant. I was certain that if the villagers were free of his influence, they'd be free from the bloodletting too. So I arranged for him to have an accident.
It seems like one of Theos' dirty tricks. I'd expect you to act with honor.
I did it for the right reasons. Not that this changed much. The old man died, and the villagers were terrified. They were convinced his death was an ill omen. They blamed it, and every other mishap that befell them, on their lack of faith. So they began bloodletting every week, turning on their neighbors for giving too little. Instead of a handful dying each year, a few perished every week.
And now you feel responsible. Is that it?
I had to do something, didn't I?
He turns to you with wide, anguished eyes. He pauses again, untwisting the sash at his lap.
I keep wondering what I might have done differently, or how I could have known better.
Well, the villagers had found a way to live with the ritual in time. Perhaps they would have changed it on their own. Learning from mistakes like this is a good start.
I suppose so. I should get some rest. It's been a long day, and you've given me a lot to think about.
Well, you haven't told me what the Animancers have to do with any of this, Aloth.
Ah, that. I'm looking for an old leaden key sect. I've found several references, but I want to be sure. Please, let me go over my notes again. Then I promise I'll tell you everything.
Cool.
I must say...
Oh, what the fuck? God damn it. He starts talking to me as soon as I click the button to leave. Well, I guess we'll never know what that was about. I'll see if I can talk to him again. Yeah, that sucks. I hate when I miss out on this stuff. I must say our adventure together has been a welcome change of pace. Aloth approaches you looking more at ease than you've seen him in a while. Yeah, can we continue that conversation?
You look like you have something on your mind.
It doesn't seem like it. Okay.
I shall.
Yeah, I guess we'll just board the other ship. Oh, Seraphin's level 1, isn't he?
Done and done. Oh, I'd be a rare tick from feeding the fishes.
Seraphin's so fucked. Alright.
Hey, that wasn't half bad.
We're dropping like flies.
Lava.
Nice. Should put those sails on. That'll make us faster. Oh, that's much better. A lethargic, misshapen bird drops a damp missive onto the deck. To Hidoro, captain of the Defiant, I know what you're thinking. I have too many lovable cats, dogs, pigs, birds, and pigs. Like you, I once thought that I could take in stray pets, care for their needs, and shower each with equal affection, but we limited beings have only so much love to spread around. Unpleasant, unfair, unfortunate. Okay. Alright. Well, here we are in Nekataka. As you walk down the dock, your approach is Okay, hold on. Let's restart that. As you walk down the dock, your approach is noted by a cadre of heavily armored Aumaua. Their leader briskly leads them to intercept you. Though the harbor master says nothing as she surveys you, you note a telltale sneer and a twitch of revulsion that are all too familiar.
You're far from home, farmer. How did you make it all this way in your little boat?
Why do we gotta be farmers just because we're from Deerwood?
Are you a farmer?
Yeah, but you can't just assume. We got rabble-rousers too.
As her attention returns to you, the Aumaua's mood becomes more formal.
I'm the harbor master, Kauha. I must ask your reason for docking in Neketaka.
Do I really need a reason?
Yes, you do. You can't dock a ship in the harbor and have your run of Queen's Birth without giving me a good reason for docking here.
The women and men behind the harbor master set their jaws and straighten their backs at the leader's words. Deep within you, you feel an uncomfortable roiling. You can't be certain if the sensation is physical or spiritual, but it immediately induces nausea and fills your ears with the sound of blood rushing through your head. Cutting through the din, you hear a familiar woman's voice speak. Each word comes slowly, falling with what sounds like the chiming of a small bell.
Show them. Show them what you are.
I'm gonna say... I'm a watcher and the herald of Bareth. The whole Deadfire is in danger. Please let me pass.
I've heard enough. There's no room for you in Neketaka Harbor. Get back on your ship and head back to open sea.
The harbor master gestures toward your boat. The women and men behind her nod and murmur in agreement. The nausea continues to build inside you, blood pounding against your skull. Again, the woman's voice. Again, the chimes.
I will help you.
What's the matter with you? What are you doing? If you're trying to scare us with some cipher mischief, save the purple flames for the tribes of the Outer Islands.
The roar in your head begins to abate. The ringing of the chime becomes clearer, rhythmic. 2 successive peals followed by a brief respite. You realize the chime is ringing in tandem with your heartbeat. You open your eyes. The harbor master is gesturing wildly, presumably to get your attention, and yelling in your face, but you hear no words, only the ringing of the chime as your heart rate slows and slows and slows and slows.
Now.
What? What is this?
Run for it!
So much for discretion.
Okay, Seraphim needs to level up. Choose an ability for one class. What are these options here? Let's fit. +5 con. Grants target ally. Range is 10. Okay, so that could be for everybody. Punish a target for their sins, dealing pierce damage and decreasing their deflection fortitude. Yeah, sure, we'll go for that.
Indeed.
Okay, well, now that we made it to Nekataka, I think I'm actually going to call it here. I need to continue working on the lore video. I just wanted to get a little bit of this done today, so I don't know when we'll stream next, probably tomorrow or Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Thursday is when Avowed comes out, so we're going to try to beat this game by then. But until next time, I will talk to you guys in the YouTube comments and in the Discord server and whatnot. So thank you guys for watching for this little bit here, and peace out.